Welcome, everyone. I'm Nick, also known as the IPP guy, and this is the IPP Education Hub. One question that I've been asked a few times is whether or not I feel any shame or embarrassment around the fact that I have an IPP. And so today I want to talk to you about why I don't and why I feel like the true shame was when I was suffering without help. So if you are someone who is considering an IPP implant, or you are partnering somebody who's going through their IPP journey, I hope you find something valuable in this video. So first and foremost, to talk about kind of haters of the IPP, I would like to sort of break this down into what I call the 8 Mile theory that I live with for myself. Anybody who's a fan of the movie 8 Mile, there's a scene at the end of it where Bunny Rabbit, he's going up against Papa Doc, and as he begins to rap, he says pretty much all of the things about himself before the other person has an opportunity to say it. And this is a lesson that I try to live by for myself, because if you can lean into these things that other people think about you, then, and you demonstrate that to you don't really care about those things, or that those things don't hold you back, then you won't be limited by what your thoughts are or how you're impacted by others. So for me personally, when it comes to whether or not I feel shame or embarrassment around my IPP, I look at other men and I sort of compartmentalize them into 2 categories. I think there are men who have a properly working penis and it works, and they don't care about me or my IPP or what I was going through with ED or any of that stuff. They just are living their lives, being able to enjoy it as they do. That's wonderful. Probably a very small percentage of men, but it's still wonderful. So now we have the other group of men, those men their penis doesn't work properly. They are suffering from ED. Now, in that category of men who are suffering from ED are the men who are admitting it to themselves and the men who aren't. The men who are admitting it to themselves, these videos, this channel, this entire education hub, it's for you. It's your place to learn more, to feel free of judgment, to feel like you can get what it is that you're after, because I want to provide that information. But what about for those that have ED, but they don't admit it, and then they're out here trolling or being somewhat of a hater in some capacity, and they're trying to sort of make us who are talking about it feel lesser than just because they aren't as open with themselves? Well, to be fair, I'm just not really moved by those type of people. I recognize that more often in life, it's those people who will get to a certain juncture in their own lives, and finally, whether it's a dark night of the soul moment or whatever, they'll finally realize, okay, I need the help that I said that I didn't need. And so to me, it's important to just kind of put on the blinders, not even worry about those people, and just go directly towards what we need in our own lives for satisfaction. And so to circle back to the 8 Mile theory, I was struggling with ED. I was having an issue. I needed to get it figured out. I was trying all the solutions that I heard on the radio and that I heard on television that weren't working for me. So I figured it out, and I figured out another solution. And now I feel confident knowing that I don't suffer from ED the same way. I don't know if I can say that I'm cured from ED, because I now have a prosthesis in place that assists me with it, but I can surely attest that it's much further than I ever was than when I was taking pills or injections or ignoring the subject all along. And so to kind of wrap things up, this isn't a video that says, hey, please don't shame me. This is a video that instead, I hope that if you are someone going through your IPP journey and you feel a level of embarrassment or shame around it, I hope that you can watch this video and know that there isn't anything to be embarrassed or ashamed about, or at least in my opinion. The true embarrassment, the true shame is when your body is not working properly and you're not willing to try and do something to fix it, and you don't know how to go about fixing it. But that's not you. You are doing something about it. You're learning what your options are, and you're learning how to go about resolving this problem that you're experiencing. thanks to my IPP, I feel much more confident and a level of confidence that I previously didn't have. And I believe that other men who are going through a similar journey will find themselves on a similar path. And so for anybody who is struggling with any elements of what they feel is masculinity or whatever else it might be, just please recognize that getting help is okay. Recognizing that we're just living the human experience, and the human experience is not the same for everyone, and it's very different for everyone. And so therefore our bodies are going to be different, and our anatomy is going to be different, and the way that we respond is going to be different, whether it's an environment, a situation, a time, or who we are or what we're dealing with. It's all these things that kind of go into effect. And if you're struggling with that, then just know that you're not alone. At the end of the day, I personally don't feel embarrassment or shame around having an IPP. I think it's something that we normalize and something that we can speak to. I think that once upon a time, there was stigma around the idea of breast augmentation. But eventually that became such a norm, such a common part of society, that it's not really something that we bat an eye at anymore. And I personally believe that in 20 years, 30 years, whatever the time period is, that we will normalize the need for efficient ED solutions outside of just pills and injectables, and the technology and the innovation is out there that allows us to find solutions that we can rely on that will be helpful. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to this channel, and also be sure to turn those notifications on so that you are in the loop every single time that we release a new video here on the IPP Education Hub. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video provided ease and maybe allowed you to kind of better understand how to approach the haters out there. And just know that if you can lean into whatever it is that they're hating on you for, then it's probably going to annoy them and they'll just leave you alone anyway. So be kind to yourself and be kind to others, especially you, haters.